Hi everyone, it's Vicky here from BlueSky PR. I'm just waiting for my colleague Dan to join, but thanks to everyone who is joining me already. I hope everyone's well and enjoying working from home. I'm a working parent and I can tell you now, I can't wait to get back to the office. I'm sure there's plenty of you who will sympathise with that at the moment. I'm just letting my colleague Dan join us. He's going to be letting me know all of your questions today. Hi Dan, are you there? I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Thank you very much.
Good, 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 good. I was just saying hello to everyone, and I feel like I'm on repeat at the moment, saying I hope everyone's safe and well. I think that's all I'm asking at the moment. So yeah, I don't know about you, Dan, but I can't wait to get back to the office.
Exactly. It'll be great just to get back in the swing of things, won't
It will definitely.
it?
It's been a while since I've hosted one of these with you, Dan. I think we did the first few, didn't we? And then you and
Yeah,
King have taken over the rest of these.
exactly. Well, welcome back.
Glad to get involved actually, and I think just for everyone's benefit really, the focus for this week is questions on managing PR and comms during a crisis. And the reason I'm getting involved in this one, and kind of made sure that I could definitely get involved in these questions today is because there's a couple of webinars and blog posts and everything else that I've posted previously on this very topic. So I was quite keen to answer some of these questions because I think it's right up my street, really. So I think, Dan, you've got a couple of questions we've had come in over the last couple of days. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll kick off from the start. So I want to go with one. We've had a few different DMs this morning about this one, so I'm just going to read out sort of a collated version, and it's what PR crisis have you helped other recruitment businesses through before, and what can we learn from these situations?
Okay. I'll cover off the first point about what crisis we've helped people through before. If I'm honest with you, every crisis is different for every business. There's no kind of one size fits all approach with crisis PR. It really does have to be tailored to your firm and obviously the current economic climate and environment. But I think the biggest PR crisis that we've helped firms through previously that's of most relevance now is the recession, and the most recent recession anyway, and the financial crash, because that was a period of, like, nationwide global crisis, and we had to support a number of clients and support our own business as well through very uncertain and difficult times. And on the sort of train of thought of every crisis is different and you do have to tailor your response per depending on who you are, we did the same for all of our clients during the recession. We had to react and respond based on who they were, what they did, how big their business was, what clients they've won or lost. There's so many different different factors that you have to take note of when you're managing any crisis PR. But what we can say is there are a number of foundation the points that you can follow to make sure that you're putting yourself forward for best possible success. And the key four for me really would be, first and foremost, be vocal. And again, this helped a number of businesses get their way through the recession previously. If you sort of go quiet and start saying nothing to your audiences who may have been used to reading blogs from you regularly, seeing you on social media all the time, or reading an article or watching a video of yours all the time, if you suddenly go quiet, the assumption from your audience is going to be that you're probably not doing very well and that perhaps even your business is no longer operating. So we always advise to stay vocal during times of crisis like this, because it just shows people you're still here. In fact, I've had that conversation with quite a few of our clients as soon as all of this started to kick off across the UK. We talked about what comms strategies we could put in place, and the key priority was to, if anything, increase how much communication we were pushing out with audiences. So keep it going, keep vocal. My second point on that, though, is to remember to smart and be professional. I think when you're going through a time of crisis, it's all too easy to take things personally and start to almost get a bit personally involved in conversations, because it is tough for everybody and people do have very strong opinions in a time of a crisis. But it is important to keep anything that you are pushing out, any comms and messaging that you're pushing out, very professional, because that could come back to bite you in the rear if you don't. So remember, please do remember that point. Positivity is another thing that I think has helped people through previous crises like this, or as best as we could compare to this one anyway. I think being different and being positive is going to really stand you out from the crowd. At the moment, there's so many negative news items out there that we keep reading. I'm pretty sure you're all inundated with negative news left, right and centre, but I think if you can be different from the crowd and start to sort of push out the positive messages, perhaps the whole point of you're going to re-evaluate how you operate as a business going forward and have more people being able to work remotely, because this crisis has proven that people can, and actually some really do embrace it, whereas others do really like the office environment. And at the same time, when I talk about being different, I think that's not just in terms of what messages you're putting out there, it's in terms of your previous strategies that you've had in place. I think we've covered this off, Dan, you and I, in a live Twitter Q&A before, but having the same old comms plan in place that you were going to have for this year isn't going to be relevant for the rest of the year. So make sure that you take a different approach and different strategy as the crisis evolves, because what is relevant now is going to be so different next week and the week after and the week after. So you do have to make sure that you are differentiating your plans almost on a daily basis, if anything.
Fantastic.
I think as well, just to add, there is a number of resources on our website that do cover off a lot of this advice. So do check it out and go onto BlueSky Thinking on our website. You'll find a wealth of blogs and comments on this. So feel free to view those if my ramblings aren't making sense.
And just on that tip, we've had a DM come in saying, I furloughed my marketing person a month ago. What should I focus on now, as nothing we had planned before she left seems relevant? So again, relating back to some of what you just said, Vicky.
Yeah, and I think we have hit that point now where a number of agencies who had marketing teams on board had kind of a plan in place for the first almost couple of weeks of the crisis, and then obviously had to, for whatever reason, have had to face furloughing staff, and marketing has sometimes been cut as a result. But I think the key there is you do still need to seek expert advice. So if you can't, directly approach your marketing person, whether they're on furlough or whatever happened with them, do seek out expert advice. There's a number of resources, free resources available for recruiters. Look at TRN, for example, or if you're an AppSco member, they've got all sorts of resources on there that will give you a lot of this guidance. But if that doesn't give you what you need, my views would be that you need to be more reactive in any of your marketing activity. What you had planned over sort of those few weeks with your marketing person before they left is obviously either used or no longer relevant. I think what you need to be doing now is being guided by what's going on in the news agenda and what's going on in your networks. So monitor what people are saying and how people are responding to certain conversations, and use that to feed your marketing and comms activity. If you have regular mailers going out, then perhaps consider taking a more personable approach in your mailers. So, a letter from the CEO, if you're the one managing it, have a personable letter that you're sending out to these contacts. But just remember those points I said earlier about being different, being positive, and being smart in what you're saying. Be guided by what other people are engaging with, but also get your personality across and keep it professional. And I think as well, that whole need to be reactive is included in joining in with conversations online. So make sure that you are getting involved in conversations. So where you might not perhaps be able to push out as many marketing and comms activities that that you used to with your person who's obviously now been furloughed, you can join in with conversations on social media instead as a little bit of a kind of go-between until you can get that person back in and get things moving again. But, seek out expert advice when you can, be guided by what's going on in the news agenda, and just keep talking, keep communicating, because that's what's going to be crucial for businesses at the moment. I hope that answers that question.
And I'll just add as well, just in regards to social media, a lot of recruitment firms don't realise they have a lot of evergreen content in terms of resources and blogs on the website as well. So sort of a quick fix you can always do is just look at some of your older blogs and see if they're relevant to the situation now. You might have a lot of blogs on staff development and, employee engagement and things like that. So feel free to reshare those, or maybe just go back into the blog itself and just give it a quick tweak at the top, just to make it a bit more relevant to what's going on at the moment as well. That's another simple way you can just get a quick win in terms of your marketing.
Absolutely. And there's so much advice, there's so much advice around that we had before, a couple of years ago, that can still be relevant now. What you can repurpose as a case in point, referencing the stuff we have on our website, but there's a crisis PR webinar on there, and as I've gone back through that, the advice we're giving is very relevant now. So there's so much content you have available already that you can use, and you might not even think of now, that's perhaps a year or two old. So definitely go back and review what you've got.
Exactly. And we've just got another DM through that came through this morning, and it says, my staff are furloughed, but I want to keep them engaged. What can they do to keep informed and involved?
Okay. So there's a couple of things on that one. First and foremost, training. Keep your staff involved and engaged with training. There's so much available, free resources available out there at the moment. I mentioned TRN again earlier and APSCO. They both have a number of resources available for consultants who are looking at developing their skills while they're on furlough. And I think what is crucial now is, while we're in this period of uncertainty, and with so many consultants on furlough, that we're looking at developing the skills of the recruitment industry so that we can best weather the storm as we sort of emerge from this and reach the point of a bounce back. Myself and my colleague Steph King, for example, are recording a free training session as part of our connections with TRN that's going to give consultants the advice and tips on how they can manage their personal brand, so that they can set themselves up for success during the bounce back and really secure the BD that they're going to need to help their business grow in the future in what will be a new normal. So skills and training and development is one thing that all consultants need to be focusing on, and as a business owner, encouraging them to look at developing their skills and use this time wisely will certainly help to keep them engaged. So when you get them back in, they're raring to go. They're not just desperate to get back in the job, but they develop new skills that can help them achieve the best possible success in what is going to be a very strange new world for all of us, I think. I think as well, make sure that you're encouraging and letting people know that they may not be in the office, but they're still part of a team. Look at how you could use maybe your social media channels to keep everyone together. And I'm sure that there's been so many cases of agencies hosting pub quizzes on Zoom with the team, and just taking a simple picture of it and putting it out on their Facebook pages, on their Twitter pages, and then getting some engagement and getting everyone to engage there. Has kind of really, you can always sort of see the positivity and the uplifting spirit that is clearly apparent from all the posts that staff are putting on there. So they might not be working for you in the office and might not be working for you right now, but they are still part of your work family and they still want to be engaged with. And actually they're another audience for you, because you've got to remember, once we do eventually come out of this, there is going to be a demand for talent at some point, and you need to make sure that you've got the best staff engaged when that happens, and that they're not going to be lost to the competition. So keeping them with that, having that sense of and feeling of being a part of a team still is key. and get them to share anything, share their training with their networks. What they learned in the last 2-3 weeks that's been different. How do they think that the world of recruitment is going to change? Because they still have this huge network of people. They might not be able to work for you, but the network of people they've been used to dealing with for every day for however long they've been working for you, they're still going to want to see that engagement. So even if they share pictures of themselves learning a new art or learning something new, it shows they're still there. There's still that person there, and they're still going. They're still coping, and that when it comes back to the bounce back, they're going to be there and available to help clients again. So encourage them to do that as well, and we will help them keep them engaged. And ask them what else they want to do. They may want to host their own pub quizzes in the nicest way possible without certain senior members of the team. They might want to set up their own little pub groups like they would have done in the office. They may want to do something for charity as a team. Ask them, see what else other people want to do, and what would help your staff as well. I think that answers it. I kind of went off on a bit of a tangent there.
No, that's definitely relevant what you've said there, Vicky, there. And we've just got another question, and it says, I keep reading articles about how to hire during the coronavirus crisis and about staff engagement during a crisis that I have opinions on. How can I get involved in the conversation besides making a personal post on LinkedIn?
Okay, that's a really, really important point, actually, because we are seeing more people be very vocal. I mean, I certainly am anyway, on the likes of LinkedIn, sharing their thoughts and views. And they're always views, in many cases, they're views that are actually of interest beyond your immediate network. So there's a couple of things you can do with this. If you do have any experience with the media, or if you have anyone in the business who is still working with you who has experience in the media, perhaps your marketing person, or if you have a PR team, for example, those opinions should certainly be pushed out beyond your immediate network to see if there is interest in your industry specific publications, for example. At the moment, because of so much uncertainty, any experts that have valid and well thought through advice, opinions and guidance is going to be in high demand. So if you have a particular point or a particular opinion that you're certainly going to add some value to your audiences, there's likely to be a number of publications that would be interested in that. But that is something that I would say, if you're going to go down that route, you have to carefully manage. Dealing with the press is a process that you do have to have some experience of, or have professional guidance, before you go down that route. So just bear that in mind. But beyond your LinkedIn groups, there's so many other social media channels you can share this opinion on. There's the opportunity to record a video rather than just join that conversation from someone else. Perhaps record a video where you're leading your own conversation. Drive that conversation and topic rather than just comment on it. And consider how you could perhaps have a blog on your own website where you're expanding on it a bit more. That can then be pushed out far and wide to your social channels. You can link to it in any marketing mailers that you're pushing out. And as long as you're using the right key phrases and you've search engine optimized that blog, the likelihood is you'll get an increase in organic traffic that's going to be relevant to you as a business, and that's going to give you more opportunity to get other people seeing your views and thoughts. And just consider whether or not it's worth looking at working with the person who's driving that conversation as well. See a post on LinkedIn, and you've got a very strong opinion for or against whatever that person has said. Keep it obviously professional, but maybe speak to that individual and see if there's a way of collaborating to spread that message far and wide. And I think that's one crucial thing that's come out of all of this is more people are working together. So if someone has a particular topic that, even if it's a question they posed, that you are able to guide on and have a particular opinion on, see how you could work together to tap into your wider networks together, and push your views and opinions out that way. That's another thing to consider. I hope that answers that one. Just a note for everyone as well, if any of these questions resonate with you, we'd love to hear from you. So please do sort of, you know, add your 2 cents to this conversation too. If you're watching this either now or later down the line and you think actually that's a really good point, or actually I have something else to say, join the conversation with us, because we'd love to hear from you. And if there's other experiences you've had that, you know, have worked over the last couple of weeks, share it with us. We'd love to hear from you and see what everyone's doing as well.
And I think that is the last question that we've had in. As I said, the first question you answered today, a lot of people submitted that. So I think that is all of them, unless we get any last minute DMs come through, Vicky.
Perfect. I mean, if anyone has got any other questions, you know, as we've always said, just message us either on Twitter, or, you know, you can contact us through our website as well. We can answer your questions. Look back through our resources. Some of the questions may be answerable through the content we have on our site, but, you know, do keep posting questions our way. The next one we're hosting, next Twitter Q&A we're hosting, will be in 2 weeks' time, from 2 weeks from today. Keep an eye on our social media channels for the topic. We'll be guided by you guys again. So as you're sending us questions, we'll make sure that we're steering the Twitter Q&A based on what you want to know about. But yeah, keep sending us your questions, everybody, because we're really enjoying answering them, and we love hearing from you all.
Definitely. So, yep. So just to recap, it'll be on the 18th of May, the next Twitter Q&A. So do get your questions in for that one.
Perfect. Great. Well, if that is everything, Dan, I will speak to you soon. And
thanks very much. Take care, guys.
Thanks. Bye.